Gerard Coupe. You are watching Sporty Jordy, and we have just one more week left in this regular season. I hope everybody had a lovely holiday, and if you aren't already, make sure to smash that subscribe button, and let's let the games begin, baby. I obviously had to represent my Eagles this week, and I felt like it was only appropriate to rock a Minshew jersey since the Eagles clinched a playoff berth. So week 18 against the Cowboys, it's going to be a lot of backups. It's going to be a lot of scrubs, considering we want everyone to rest up now, and everyone basically has COVID anyway, so that's a lot of fun. It's honestly the perfect time to have a COVID outbreak, though, because let's be real, the 6th seed versus the 7th seed, it's really not going to make a difference, and at the end of the day, I'm just happy to be here. Someone, though, who doesn't seem to be happy anywhere is Antonio Brown. And by now, I'm sure we all have seen the videos of him ripping off his jersey and all of his pads in the middle of their game against the Jets, and then running shirtless into the locker room, jumping up and down, throwing peace signs, the whole nine. At this point, though, the only thing on my mind regarding this situation is I really want to meet someone that had AB on their fantasy team and were playing in the championship and needed him to have a good game in order to win. And then when he stormed into the locker room like a baby, they ended up losing. Because I really just want to give them a hug. The Bucs have since released him for obvious reasons. And then the next day he was sitting courtside at the Nets game. Yeah. I honestly kind of feel bad for him though, because I think there has to be something actually wrong, and I think he needs real, genuine help. But then, on the other hand, all these outbursts, it's just getting really old, and we can't really keep making excuses for him. So he has to help himself first. And I hope he can do that. But I want one player on that Bucs sideline to step up and spill the tea about what actually happened leading up to the exit, because I've heard the rumors, but I want concrete conversation. What actually went down? I am literally begging. I want tea so hot that I'm getting 3rd-degree burns. All right, back to business. Now, week 17 was good, like very good. Week 17 was honestly great. So now let's take a look at the current playoff picture leading up into this, am I okay? So now I want to take a look at the current playoff picture leading up into the last week of this regular season, see who's definitely clinched and see what spots are still available and kind of the situations to see how this is going to play out. I think we're at a very good spot though, because there's enough teams that have it locked up where you kind of have a feel for how it's going to look, but then there's enough room for things to get a little bit exciting, so I like it. I'm excited. The AFC playoff picture as it currently stands is Titans, Chiefs, Bengals, Bills, Patriots. They have all clinched a playoff berth. No seeds have been clinched yet, so this order can move around a little bit, but we will see all of these teams in the postseason. For the 6th and 7th seeds, if the season was to end today, we would see the Colts and the Chargers in the playoffs, but nothing is official for this yet. Both of these teams have to win in week 18 to keep this spot, because you have the Raiders, Steelers, and Ravens on the outside trying to fight their way in. And we will get into week 18 matchups and some picks, but the fact that the Raiders play the Chargers and the Steelers play the Ravens this week is just phenomenal. Chargers-Raiders might be the best game of the season because they are literally fighting for their lives in prime time. Now for the NFC, things are a little bit more locked up. You have the Packers, Rams, Bucks, Cowboys, Cardinals, and Eagles. Sorry, what? These 6 teams will guaranteed be in the postseason, but then you have the 49ers who have not yet officially clinched. They are in the same exact situation as the Colts and the Chargers. If the season were to end today, they would be in the postseason, but they do have to win in week 18 in order to keep their spot. If they lose, it's not totally out of the question, but then they need the help from other teams to either win or lose, which just complicates anything. So the 49ers just have to win and they're in. Done. The New Orleans Saints, after the season that they have had, they have not been eliminated yet. They're still on the bubble and they still have a chance to make the NFC playoff picture, which is so mind-boggling to me, but it's true. It's true. They could be in the postseason. I want to stick with the AFC though, because this one is just so much more interesting. Like I already said, the Chargers will play the Raiders in prime time on Sunday night. The winner of that game will make it into the postseason. The loser, their season will end in week 18, which is, it's literally life or death. So we can comfortably say one of the remaining 2 seeds in the AFC playoff picture will go to the Chargers or the Raiders, but there is a loophole here, because if the Colts lose and if the Chargers and Raiders were to tie, they would both make the postseason. And I know this might sound crazy because the Colts are playing the Jags. And you're sitting here like, oh my God, this is the perfect situation for the Colts to make the postseason. No, it's not. The Colts have not beat the Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville since 2014. This is like their Achilles heel. So things are very interesting. And then you have the Steelers playing the Ravens, and the Steelers can make their way into the postseason if they beat the Ravens, and then if the Colts lose, and then you have the Ravens who are still fighting to work their way in. And all of this can only happen if Chargers Raiders doesn't end in a tie. Oh my God. I told you, there is plenty of drama for week 18, but it's not too much drama where like you feel like your heart's gonna fail. So it's like this perfect happy little medium that we just absolutely love. Speaking of the Steelers, did anyone sob uncontrollably, not being a Steelers fan, watching Ben Roethlisberger play realistically his last game in Heinz Field? Because I like Ben Roethlisberger, but I'm not the biggest Ben Roethlisberger fan. But like, he's been in the league for 18 years. I don't really know football without him. And he got the perfect send-off. The way that game ended, you couldn't script anything better. And I was just filled. My arms were filled with goosies. I was sobbing laying in my bed alone watching this game. And I was like, oh my God. Perfect send-off. And Steelers fans, that's a beautiful fan base. That's really, it's so wholesome. All right. Enough of the sappy stuff. Now we look ahead to some of these week 18 games, and Jesus frickin' Christ. No Thursday games this week, obviously, but we do have 2 Saturday games. The Chiefs and the Broncos will be going head-to-head in the afternoon window. And then the Eagles and the Cowboys was flexed to prime time and Saturday night, which is just super ironic. Cowboys-Eagles could have been incredible. And if you've looked at the prices of tickets over the last couple of weeks, you would think it was a life or death situation, which it easily could have been, but now it's not. This is now going to be a Gardner Minshew versus Cooper Rush game, which obviously I'm wearing a Minshew jersey. I'm not going to sit here and complain about watching Gardner Minshew play in primetime on a Saturday night. There's actually no other way I would rather spend my time. The implications just aren't dire. Like I said earlier for the Eagles, the 6 versus the 7 seed isn't going to change anything. And for the Cowboys, you can't get the 1st seed, so just rest up. And then Broncos Chiefs. Chiefs are going to be fighting for the 1 seed, but the Broncos are already out of the playoffs. So these are not the best games that we are getting this weekend. There are good ones. There are great ones. These are not some of them. Sunday is the Holy Grail. Bengals-Browns really doesn't matter that much. The Browns don't even really have a team anymore. Every single person is injured, but the Bengals might be fighting to get a higher seed, and I'm just really excited to see them again this weekend after their incredible win against the Chiefs, which was phenomenal in every way, shape, and form. Bengals money line that morning was a beautiful, beautiful thing. We've already talked about it, but I have to emphasize one more time. Steelers versus Ravens, both of these teams are fighting for their lives. The Ravens were in their game against the Rams with their backup quarterback and lost by a miracle end of game. There was nothing they could do. It was like that kind of situation. But they found every flaw in this Rams team and took advantage of it. So if they can do that against the Steelers, the Ravens and Saints are giving me the same vibes right now. They should have died so long ago. They had so many issues. It's sad. It's really, really sad. But the fact that they are still kicking, and Tyler Huntley, man, he is a beast, like an actual beast. And I already know in this offseason we're going to see some headlines like, should the Ravens move on from Lamar and save some money and roll with Tyler Huntley instead? Like, no, but it's a good question to get the people talking. This game is going to be unreal. And then, like I said, you have Colts Jacksonville in Jacksonville. Colts are fighting for their lives, and Jacksonville is just their absolute nightmare for some godforsaken reason. Will the Jags be able to wake up and play spoiler? I have no idea. We have Saints Falcons. The Saints are going to be fighting for their lives. We have Cardinals Seahawks, where the Cardinals are going to be fighting for their division. You have 49ers Rams who are fighting for their division, and the 49ers who are fighting to get into the playoffs. I really, really, really wanted Patriots Dolphins to be a great game, and I wanted it to be the game where the Dolphins could earn a playoff spot, but unfortunately, Their embarrassing loss to the Titans this weekend knocked them out of playoff contention. They were eliminated, so it still should be a good game, but there just isn't real implications here. And then, like I said, the holy grail is Sunday night, Raiders versus Chargers. Oh my God. I would like to give the Dolphins some credit though, real quick, because they started off this season 1-7. They had a really shaky start. Then they lost Tua. This team doesn't know how to play without Tua. And then when he came back, they were a little shaky. They had to find their groove. But once they found their groove to go on an 8-game winning streak, to still have playoff hopes after starting 1-7, it's utterly impressive. And this team isn't even in its best form. They don't have an O-line. They're still missing big pieces. So for them to get this close, when they're not even close to a complete team yet, it just goes to show. And I know I say it at the end of every season, but next season, the Dolphins will be a team to be scared of. And next season, I'm going to be right. This team is the real deal. Tua is the real deal. Fight me on it. I would love it. I love the drama. All right. Now it's time for some picks. As always, we'll do 3 money line and 3 point spreads. I kind of want to pick games that have the most playoff implications to make it more exciting. So let's see. All right. Money line picks. I'm going Chiefs, Bengals, Chargers. The Chiefs, I think, can easily beat the Broncos even with no playoff implications, but they are going to be fighting for that 1 seed. Broncos have nothing to win, nothing to lose. So I think this is an easy one for the Chiefs. The Bengals, they're playing the Browns, but are the Browns even going to be the Browns? And then I had to make a choice in this Chargers-Raiders game. I do think the Chargers are the stronger team. I'm not going to totally rule the Raiders out. And their games, they always come down to like 1 second on the clock or overtime. So I have a feeling it's going to be this very exciting finish. But I want the Chargers to come out on top here. So I'm taking the Chargers. For the spreads, I like the looks of Baltimore -5.5 versus the Steelers. The Steelers looked good against the Browns, but I keep saying it. The Browns are so injured, like beyond injured. So you should look good against the Browns. And Baltimore was hanging in there with the Rams, who, yes, have issues, but they're still the Rams. And Tyler Huntley, like I said, too good. So I love the looks of Baltimore, -5.5. I am also going to go with Dolphins +7 versus the Patriots. I just need this game to mean something. To me, I want the Dolphins to go out on a high note, even if they don't necessarily win, as long as it's a close game. I mean, we just saw the Patriots beat the Jags 50-10, so we know what the Patriots are capable of. I don't want the Dolphins to end the season on an embarrassing loss like they had last week. I have come around to love Mac Jones, and I found myself rooting for the Patriots a handful of times this season. Still super weird for me to say, but really, I love him. I love what the Patriots are doing. If they win, I'm not going to be upset. I would just like the Dolphins to at least cover. And if they upset, I'm not going to be upset about that either. So we can't go wrong here. And then I'm also really loving the looks of 49ers +4 versus the Rams. The Rams have obvious flaws. And if the 49ers, who, like I said earlier, are going to be fighting for a playoff spot, win this game, win and you are in. But either way, divisional, I think this is going to be super close. I would probably even take this if you get it at 3.5. I feel comfortable about that too. So yeah. 49ers +4. And there we have it. Week 18 for the first time ever. We are making history here, people. I love everything about it. Give me all of the football. Give this video a thumbs up if you have enjoyed, and make sure to go subscribe if you haven't already so you can keep up with me throughout the rest of this postseason and off season. And find me on all social medias at TheSportyJordy. Been super active on Twitter. I have fallen in love with Twitter. This is kind of a newer thing for me, but I've been live tweeting the games this season and I love it. So if you want to join me in my mentions there, you are absolutely more than welcome. And then as always on Instagram and TikTok as well. Let's freaking go.